Hi, I'm Chris Thomas. Today we're going to cover the basic empty hand curriculum of Isshin-ryu. We'll go through the upper body exercises, the 8 empty hand katas, show you bunkai, application, ways of using the techniques. I'll be talking fast and running through stuff really quickly to give you a lot of ideas. Please don't get the idea that this is the correct way. This is where a lot of people got into trouble. Somebody showed them something once and they said, now I know what it's for. It's more important to see here's what the move is for, as a window into a lot of different possibilities. So don't get stuck with one thing, this is what it means, that's it. You know, allow one thing to give you an idea for something else, to kind of flesh out. Now, I learned my Isshin-ryu from Steve Young, and it's important to acknowledge that. Even though the way I do Isshin-ryu today, it reflects my understanding of the art. It doesn't reflect even what my teacher taught me. I mean, it's how I do it. And which is one of the reasons why on this tape I'm not going to take any time to teach you the katas. I'm going to assume that you're going to learn them on your own from your own teacher, and they're going to teach it to you however it is they teach you. And that way is just fine. I'm not going to make an argument for my way of doing the kata. It's just how I do the kata. So just so you understand that, the point is to have a lot of ideas, a lot of input. You're also going to hear me talk a lot about pressure points. I'm a student of George Dillman, and so I do Dillman method pressure points. And it's helpful if you become more familiar with those concepts, but hopefully you'll see the techniques we show on the tape are techniques that just work, that you don't really have to know pressure points for them to work, but then you'll see that if you know pressure points, it's even better. So that's what we hope will happen, that you'll see a good technique that you want to do, and then you'll also want to learn more about how to make that technique better. You want to learn the pressure point material, and you want to learn the deeper secrets of the art. I need to also just kind of acknowledge and thank the people who are helping me today, my hapless Ukis, who are Shad Yankee and Chris Martingilio. And Chris especially, because this is his school that I'm in, and he kindly has allowed me to use his space to do these tapes, and allowed himself to be beat on all day long. So I hope that you learn something from this, but I hope you never take my word for anything, and instead use it as an invitation to study on your own, to think on your own, to come up with your own ideas, to have your own suggestions, think of your own possibilities, and just recognize that in the end, if you're ever attacked, Tatsuo Shimabuku is not going to appear and fight for you. You've got to fight for yourself. And that means the art of Isshin-ryu has to be your art. It has to be your Isshin-ryu, not Tatsuo's Isshin-ryu, not your teacher's Isshin-ryu. It has to be your Isshin-ryu. And that being the case, if it's yours, if you own it, then it will always work for you. Thank you. What are called the upper body exercises? Tatsuo Shimabuku, he got them from Gichin Funakoshi, actually. He borrowed something that Funakoshi called Tenno Kata. And Tenno Kata is just, it's Churanuke, Joranuke, then reverse like that. And then it goes Geidan Barai, Gyakuzuki. And it goes through the same, basically the same sequence that you see in the upper body exercises. It's just done kind of in a different, in the Shotokan style. And the only thing that's really different is number 10, where in Isshin-ryu we kind of do this. The Shotokan version was like this, you know, but it was basically the same technique. So that's where he started with. And then he picked up and he kind of added some other stuff later. So as I cover this material, every so often you'll hear me sort of reference where it's coming from. But for the most part, I'm going to assume that you know them. And so I'm not going to talk too much about how to do them, just what they're for. A lot of times when we begin, we always kind of do that thing where we bring our hands to our hips and go from here, which is, of course, stupid. No one would ever fight like this. You know, you're going to fight, you're going to go. Yeah, no one would ever do that. So the question is, what are we doing? Why would we do that? So I'm going to start with a technique that sort of covers this motion of bringing the hands up, kind of crossing each other and then back. Can I have that? In a society where you're armed, if I was going and reaching for my sword, it would be very makes sense for him to grab me to try to keep me from drawing my sword. And so that's where you start. A lot of times wrist grabs in the martial arts comes from the fact that you're going for a weapon and somebody's trying to stop you. Now there's a lot you can do from here. You know, there's all kinds of quick things you can do, but I'm going to give you something that starts with where we are. It uses the Isshin-ryu fist in particular, and it uses this this motion of bringing the hands to the hip. It's not like this. As he grabs, you take this hand, bring it up under his wrist this way. See how it catches that? And this hand comes, I just step forward on his foot and then punch into the body. So it's a real simple motion. Let's do that from the other side so we can get that detail. So I reach, he grabs here, so I'm going to come this way. I'm using the tip of my Isshin fist, and I'm catching it right on a, and this is